I'm really sorry that last week's episode was postponed. I damaged my penis and it went massive. It just went huge. It swole up like the Michelin Man, and I will say that I'm happy to report that it's all back to being shriveled and normal again, and doesn't look like a boxer's black eye anymore. So thanks for sitting around and waiting for this episode. This one is all about a thing called white supremacy. Now watch that big economy disintegrate from our quarantine and work out what we've got to do. It's time for radical you. Generate our own energy, grow food with our communities. I might just start a cult or two and call it Radical You. Sexy Radical You. It's time for Radical You 2!
Radical You is not recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Hi, welcome to Radical You TV. I'm Grant Sharkey. I'm not wearing the purple dungarees this week because I'm wearing my new t-shirt. This came about, I was doing a live stream a couple of weeks ago, and a load of white supremacists decided to have a little attack of me online. They decided to come onto my YouTube videos, especially the pubes and toenails video, and tell me that I'm fat and that I look like I smell bad. And, and I'm not entirely sure why. I'm white, I'm male, I'm straight. I've got everything going in my favour to be like best friends with all these dudes, but apparently it turns out it's to do with how we act and whether we're nice people or not, and that's why they come along and tell you that you're a twat. I was also called an untalented slob, and having just been working on my book and on the 16th album in 7 years and a million other fucking things, I like to take offence at that. I'm not a slob. Part of this whole thing is they came along and they started to attack the live stream, and one guy started piping up saying, "Did you know the cello was invented by a white man?" To which I responded, obviously, "It's a double bass, you cock." And so I decided to make a t-shirt, and I've sold loads of them. There's a load over there, and sold loads of them to lots of great people, and I've made a donation to exituk.org, who help far right people get out. Basically, it's run by some ex-members of the far right, and they reach out and they help people move out of the toxic environment of men on the internet anonymously telling intelligent people that they're fat, to try and get them to shut up or something. I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm not going to let it distract me from the show. So let's just get on with the first clip.
Illegal immigrants have come into the country.
But having said that, do you know what gets me? Is the fact that this actually comes from some sort of weird musical beef from a musician. His name's Josh. Many years ago, I was posting up something, I can't remember what even, but he started to troll this post with about how Muslims are bad or something like that, or some Jordan Peterson bullshit. One of those people that gets you to try and sort of watch an hour and a half lecture from a pseudo academic that got fired for being a racist about why racism isn't actually a fucking thing or something. And the truth that what I try to do is listen to people of different races and hear if the culture is saying to them you're being treated differently, then I'll listen to them instead of maybe the people who are part of my culture. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Josh wasn't particularly diplomatic on Facebook, and was doing this all sort of in public, and it was misogynistic, and it was racist, and there was a lot of stuff, and I called him out on it quite a lot, and apparently he lost quite a lot of work through it, and he claims that I phoned around a lot of venues and and stopped him from gigging, but the truth is Facebook is actually a thing that can be seen by everyone, and I think what might have happened is a few promoters might have seen him calling various women horrible names, etc., and spouting off about racism, or about being racist but not being racist because he can define that racism is not a thing or whatever, and decided that I was the sole reason as to why he lost a lot of work, which is again one of those things about freedom of speech, is there's also no freedom from consequences of the freedom of speech. So I to be honest, I forgot about Josh. I couldn't even remember his second name for a long time. It's Clark. And but he was in a great musical thing called Remedy Sounds. Now you might have heard of Remedy Sounds. He used to get up on stage with a loop pedal and sort of do that thing. You know, it was a very white guy thing. You know, sort of singing 4 chords and sort of rapping over it. And that was nice. It was really good. He lent me a guitar at one point during a gig with Beans on Toast, where I was fucking up all over the place and a string snapped or something. My bridge was popping out of my double bass. And he lent me a guitar so I could finish the set. And that was sort of like me going, yeah, but I realise now that he only lent me the guitar because I'm white and not a woman, or English. And I don't know exactly, but he claims he was in a left-wing bubble of music and people who cared about the planet and each other. And he claims he was being brainwashed by this thing. And the truth is, Josh, we cared about you. We really fucking cared about you. And then unfortunately you've ended up in this place where you define yourself by where you were born rather than by what you do. And he's given up music now, which is a bit sad, because I think maybe having a hobby, I don't know, there might be a little bit of music. I have checked out his YouTube channel where he sent all these racists from. It's the thing called Richard the Lionheart. And I haven't watched all of it. I've watched a few of his videos, and he goes on about things like, you see people coming out of the clubs, people who've had hundreds of sexual partners, and it's a degradation of England or whatever. And the truth is, he's seeing people as fixed points. He's not seeing people as a chapter in their story. When you meet someone, they're not who they were yesterday, and they aren't who they're going to be tomorrow. And if you know that, that's part of empathy, is to know that everyone's on a journey. So if someone is coming out of a club super drunk or whatever, they might have possibly just got fired or left by their girlfriend or something like that. And if they have hundreds of sexual partners, it's because they like sex. It's not because they're degenerate in any way. And the truth is, it's sounding a lot more like ISIS every fucking day as people are judging you, saying, yeah, but you're part of the corporate elite and you will be judged. You are guilty. Which is something I've had. And there's nothing about that makes me feel like there's a point there. So it feels now like indoctrination, and it feels now like Josh has fallen into a hole. And I'd like to reach out to Josh and say there is a charity called exituk.org who can help, and they will help, and they will do it without judgment and without prejudice, and they will do it from a point of empathy, where they know that if you sit there talking to your own bubble all the time, I'm guilty of that part. Of course I am. We're left-wing, socialist, communist bum boys or something like that. It doesn't matter. What matters is how we act towards people, and whether we silently judge them or privately judge them, and why we do that. That's the thing. What's the motivation for judging people from your YouTube channel? There's no good that can come out of it. So my appeal to Josh is to possibly write a song about how much you hate women or something. Go on stage in front of women and sing it. And then at the merch stand afterwards, see how well it goes. Yeah, that's sort of how it is. Anyway, time for another clip.
Yeah, I'm sure this is okay. I mean, who doesn't like a fez? Hello everyone, this is John Joe. I used to host a pub quiz until lockdown happened, but I tried to keep myself busy, try to do something a little bit fun, and just for Radical U TV, I've got this for you. A spin-off to John Joe's pub quiz that I'm calling Beer Geography. I promise I'm not an alcoholic. So, your first beer, where does San Miguel come from? Trust me, I found this one quite tricky as well. And then next, where does Peroni come from? This could be easy. And then finally, where does Budweiser and Bud Light come from? Oh, shit. Right, okay, so maybe I do have a bit of an issue. Anyway, thank you all for joining. Your answers are appearing on the screen right now. Hopefully you got all three of them. And until next time, goodbye.
Boris. What's his name? Boris. I don't know. Boris. B-A-R-I-S. Okay, I think I got it this time. Boris. No, I don't know how to say that.
Thanks for that. I'm not really paying attention to the clips, I'm sorry. I should really focus a little bit more. And I will. No, hang on. So the thing that really got me was the fact that they were posting all these things to a thing called Patriotic Alternative, which the alt-pats, I don't know what the alternative to patriotism is. I'm assuming it's treason. But it's the BNP. It's this guy called Mark Collette and this woman called Laura Towler, whose name actually means victorious toll tax collector. But anyway, these two, they've set up this thing. It's the BNP. Mark Collette actually tried to run to be the head of the BNP, lost his election in Leeds in 2005, got fuck all votes, and and essentially just it's just these people that are stirring it up. And I don't know if you saw this thing, but they walked up a hill in Derbyshire a little while ago called Mam Tor, which means Mother Hill, and anonymously stood behind a banner saying White Lives Matter, which is just a provocation, but at the same time it's that thing from the song I'm Sorry to Hear You're a Racist, where you go along and shout I'm a racist somewhere, no one noticed, no one cares. Go say you're a racist, whatever. It doesn't mean you have to be listened to. Anyway, they went up to the top of a hill, stood in the rain, covered their faces, made little white power symbols, and thought they were doing some stuff. And unfortunately what happened was a lot of the left people who were outraged by this or wanted to mock them actually shared that post probably more than the right wing actually ever would, or the white supremacists ever would, because they do rely on old lady shares, you know that. And so they all came along from this thing. So I've ended up doing a little bit of research into the alt pats, and I've realised it's all about choices. It's all about choices, isn't it? I was brought up on stories where heroes made the choices to defend everyone from one particular group of nasty bastards, and these people seem to have been brought up on stories where they are the nasty bastards and they want just one thing that can only exist, and they go on about multiculturalism's bad, and you go, no, it's not. I've just had a fucking pizza. Multiculturalism's not bad. Most people are alright. Most people just literally wake up in the morning, scratch their knobs, hopefully don't damage them, and then just want their kids to go to school and not be dicks. And you know, that's all that happens in the world, really. Some people want fine, fantastic beers. Some people want to feel a spiritual connection to the earth. It's alright. We're all fucking different. So you're going to get multiculturalism even if you have one culture. So fuck off. But that's what they're stirring up, essentially. They're stirring up this thing that it's anti-British, anti-white, to actually not judge people, which I think is possibly correct, but also it's not going to play out very well. Oh, fuck. Here's another clip.
Today, we're gonna talk about grass. Because we haven't really talked about it yet. So today, we're gonna talk about grass. Oh, because we haven't really talked about it yet. So today,
I'm missing my mushroom, so I don't think we can do it anymore because I don't know where my mushroom is. Sorry. Gotta find some grass. It's not difficult to find. Here's some grass. Grass.
But it's not going to play out very well, is it? You know, that's the thing is you look at these people who just want one thing and you say, well, how's that going to work out? And you go, well, what we want to do is achieve one country with one race of people in it. And you go, yeah, but how are you going to do that? And you go, well, the actual only way to do it is you can't change people's minds. You can't vote in a parliament or a democracy in a way that can ever work unless you all vote for the same thing, which is not democracy. So it's either take power and then exterminate people. That's it. That's the only way a white fucking supremacist nation will ever work, is the fact if you take power and exterminate people. Now, forgive me for resisting that. That's why I do it. I woke up, you know, the reason why I voted against Brexit was because of the fact that Nigel Farage wanted it. Nigel Farage is one of those people that stokes up people to think that they need to take power and exterminate people. No, we don't. We just want to deport them. Yeah. Change the word. That's all that is. Just change the fucking word. Deport, exterminate, whatever. I was told I should be deported in the comment streams of Pubes and Toenails, the Brexit song, by the way. I wish we could deport you, and I wish I could nuke the Channel Tunnel or whatever that guy said. Calvin Wynne or something, I think his name was. He makes these little wooden Union Jack things that people have been sticking on the back of their walls. It's sort of like become a whole new white power thing, so don't buy any of those for your relatives for Christmas. Anyway, I should probably hand over to Zan now. She's probably got something to tell you about being a rock star in lockdown. Hi Zan, you look great today.
Thanks, Grant. One of the things that rock stars miss most about life on the road is the tour bus. There's nothing like snuggling down to get to sleep in your tiny little bunk after a hard night being famous. I've been trying to find alternatives to give me that warm, snuggly feeling of life on the road. Never gonna fit in that. The motion's right, but it's not quite, it's too soft and it's too moon shaped. Gonna have to keep trying. Tall cat. Rock and roll, Ozzy. I found the solution. Tour bus bed, here we go. Yes. Oh yeah, it's much more like it. It's just like being in the bus. Good night.
Fuck, I miss doing gigs. That's what I want to say to Josh. Just do a gig, man. You know, not an online one to your little rabid pack of white supremacists. Do a gig to us English people who want to hear from you. We miss you, man. You know, it's nothing to do with your music. It's all to do with how you behave towards people. ExitUK.org. Just check it out. Just go and have a look. I'll send you a link later on. Although you're not on Facebook anymore because you probably think that's some sort of totalitarian organisation, which it probably is, to be honest. I've been reading a book called Zucked. It's fucked. Anyway, I need to get on with my book at some point. I've been writing a book all about the choices we make and how I've ended up being the person I am and how you play out various decisions in life. And about how the content of character, as Martin Luther King once said, is actually all we should be judged on. And whether it's worth backing down just for a peaceful life. And the truth is I have nothing to hide and nothing to lose. So there we go. Little quiz for the white supremacists. I've actually lined up a little bit of a message in the books just behind my head. So you can work out that for ages. And then we'll go over to the next clip.
Man school, it's a man school. It's for men who need a man school. It's not a boys' school, that's for boys' fool. This is a man school where you learn to be a man. Ha!
Hi, welcome to Man School. This week's letter comes from someone who's written traitor on the letter. And it reads, Oi! Why aren't I happy even though won Brexit? And that's signed by Tim Martin, the CEO of Wetherspoons. Well, Tim, I've met you, and I know why you're not happy. It's because you're a capitalist pig. You'll never be happy.
Man school, it's a man school. It's for men who need a man school. It's not a boys' school, that's for boys' fool. This is a man school where you learn to be a man. Ha!
Thanks for that. Speaking of white, and speaking of supreme power, let's go over to Owen in Wales and hear about his next instalment of The Art of Making a Perfect Glass of Milk.
Welcome back to The Art of Making a Perfect Glass of Milk with me, Owen. In today's episode, we're going to discuss the different choices of milk that you have open to you. Now, before I go any further, I want to be completely honest with you. I drink milk, specifically cow's milk. Even more specific, semi-skimmed cow's milk. That's right, I am a cow milk drinker. Now, do you need to drink cow milk? Well, no, of course you don't. You can choose any milk that you want, and there are many different ones to choose from. But rest assured, whichever milk you choose to drink is perfect, because you've chosen it. So aside from semi-skimmed cow's milk, you could drink skimmed cow's milk, almond milk, goat milk, breast milk, whole milk, lactose-free, organic, coconut milk, so many different to choose from. And like I said, don't be afraid to make that decision, because I know you. And I know that the choice that you make is perfect, because you made it. In the next instalment of The Art of Making a Perfect Glass of Milk, we'll talk a little bit about milk care. Until next time, you take care.
It's about vulnerability in the end, isn't it? It's about vulnerability, that's what it is. You know, I'm quite happy to share the fact that my dick got really big and it scared me the other day. And I'm quite happy to share with people that, you know, all the things that I find weaken me or lessen me in some way, and I find the bravery of doing that actually makes me feel stronger. And the problem with national identity is it never gives you a chance to be vulnerable. It never gives you a chance to be wrong. And we should all be given a chance to be wrong and make mistakes. That's what vulnerability is. And to be scared and to be emotional and to be happy and to be in love and all the things, and that's what I fight for. I fight for the fact I want people to have the space and the freedom to be who they are, to be who they're born, or to be who they choose. And I don't want anyone else coming along and telling them that they're wrong, degenerate, sinners, whatever the fuck Christian bullshit you've co-opted into this language where you judge people. Not Christian, sorry, the newborn, you know, the wrath motherfuckers, and the people that condemn gays or black people or immigrants, whatever, you know, they're just stop. Be vulnerable. Damage your cock from time to time, and maybe just tell people that I've damaged my cock, and you'll get nice messages from people saying, I did that once. And then that's when a connection is made. Through vulnerability. If you're just going to be climbing a hill with your little racist friends and shouting I'm a racist at the top and no one hears you, what a waste of life. What a waste of a talent, Josh. Used to be a fucking amazing man. Oh well. Time for the political weather. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a good week ahead. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write my book. I'm going to listen to some music. I'm going to write some music. And I'm going to start booking gigs all across the country. And politically, yeah, we've got Tories. We've all got Tories. But there's a cream for that. And that's called disobedience. Okay. Thanks for watching. I hope you're well. I really do hope you're well. And if you're one of the far right people who's come to comment on this video, go for it. Honestly, I change my mind every time you write a comment about me and I go, oh, maybe I shouldn't be nice to other people. Until then, until next week, stay smart and adaptable. What? Adaptable? Until next week, stay smart and adaptable. Untalented slob.
It's gotta be practical, and it's gotta have pockets. Gotta have a pouch and straps and stay up when I'm farming. It's gotta be sturdy, and it's gotta be funny. Gotta have enough room to fit in everybody. Stepping out in my purple dungarees, everybody in the street has to stop and stare at me. I start dancing in my purple dungarees, and everybody gathers near and starts dancing with me. A sexy woman dances close. She says, hey, you're the leader we've been waiting for. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? She says, you should start the cult of the purple dungarees. And we'd all follow you, 'cause you're smart and funny. And we'll all die for you and leave you all our money. And I'm like, that's not really what it's all about. She says, we'll all have sex.